Okay, we are here for layout number 2. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you're enjoying doing these videos together instead of just me doing the voiceovers. Let me know what you think below. So my original plan for these was, for this layout anyways, I talked about this wood grain and how I didn't want to use this beautiful wood grain as the background, and that's why I purchased the cardstock so that I could use this instead. But honestly, I kind of like the way that it looks, and I don't want to be a paper saver, so I think I'm going to go ahead and just go with the flow and do it. My photos, I do have 4 photos, however, they are a little bit different sizes. This one is a 5x7, which this one will work well, but over here, instead of having big ones vertically or 4x6, I don't have any vertical, they're all horizontal. This one, however, I can cut down to 3x3. I might as well do that really quick. So I haven't completely decided how I'm going to put my photos yet. The left page will probably follow it fairly closely since it has the 5x7. So these are the 2 other photos, and I really like this one. So let's put the backgrounds together, and then we will look at what we want to do for the rest of it. And I don't know, that must be a sticker, because I don't remember. Yep, that's a sticker here. This little, if you look next to the 5x7 photo, I couldn't figure out what that was. And let's see, 2E, I didn't cut out the piece that I thought would mount the photo because I wasn't sure what photo sizes I was going to use. So that's just white. No big worry on that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and probably we'll work on the left side first. I'm going to glue these down, and I did think about getting the middle of it. Now it's a big decision, isn't it? I'm wondering how much stuff I would have left over. I think I will go ahead and get the middle of these. And I'm not going to be perfect. I'm not worried about being perfect with it. Now, maybe a little bit lower. Get some of that kind of grayish blue. Okay, and now we will mount this on here. And I'm not going to worry about it being centered, but I am going to use my ruler to make sure it's straight. It's 10.5 by 10.5. This paper is. So I'm just trying to get that on there. Might be up a little higher. Probably being a little more particular about this one than I need to be, but I'm not going to worry about that. I just want to get it on straight. Without it. Also, I want it to line up with the other page too as well. I'm going to go up a little bit. So bear with me for just a second. All right, I'm going to go, and it's about 1 inch wide at the bottom, which means there's more space at the bottom than there is the top. But I'm not going to worry about that because that just lined it up a little easier. And since I know how much is at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and glue this background on too at the same time so that I know that they're pretty even. If they're not the exact same height, I'm not going to worry about it because there is a space between the 2 pages. So hope that makes some sense. Okay. Get my ruler lined up again. And then get this lined up again. Trying to make sure it has about the same side on each, but it's not exact again either. So there, those look pretty much the same. This one looks like it might be a little higher. Not worried about it. Okay, so doesn't matter which one we grab. Let's get our instructions back out. And they're not really instructions. There is instructions on here, but I kind of just, honestly, I've always just thought to look at the... excuse me for my squeaky chair. I've always just thought to look at the pictures. So it looks like now we can do our little star border pieces that go across. I love that blue. And this would be great for a camping page, like maybe the campfire, something like that, out among the stars. And so this lines up evenly with the edge. It would be fun if you wanted to make it like a banner end at one end, or not make it go all the way to the edge. You could do that if you wanted also. And then there is another strip, this strip here. Again, you could do banner edges with this. I'm just going to glue it down. And it just goes, actually, what they did do was barely ripped the edges of this, so I'm going to take off just a tiny bit, just a little bit. That's all I cut off, was just this tiny bit, because I don't want it to be the same length as the other one. And I'm going to glue down this one first because it looks like they have the other one that I was about to glue on. They have that a little bit on top of it. No, scoot it over. Ah! So I'm just lining that one up with the blue, and now I will take this last strip, and it already has adhesive, and I will kind of put it, whoa, it's bigger than I thought it was actually. I'm going to trim it down just a hair because I want it to come off just the edges a little bit of that gray, the dark gray background pattern piece. And I probably cut it too far right then. But whatever it is, it is. It would also be good to line these up. Actually, in fact, I'm going to do that so that they will both go to, so they will meet in the middle to make it a page, to make it look like it's cohesive with the second page. I hope that makes sense. So I'm turning my ruler. Oh, I'm getting all messed up here. I'm turning my ruler, my T-square ruler, so that the lifted up part is on the left-hand side of the page because I want to glue this flat on the right-hand side of the page. So remember, if you're struggling with your ruler, and I'm trying to line this up with the very middle, unlike what they did, but this will just give, and I'm going to tear the other end, this end here that's not glued down just quite yet. So it looks like it stops there. And that makes it match in with the green. So already we are doing something a little bit different, but I love it. And this page looks fairly simple. It looks like it's just the 5x7, which they have a 5x7 here. Which photo did I think I want to keep. There's some guy in this photo. I really like that photo. At least he's dark. He wouldn't get out of the way. I really like both of these photos. I think I want to keep them both. Maybe I'll do this one to 5x5, and this one I'm just going to trim down just a hair off of each side. I'm going to do a 1/4 inch off of each side of this photo, about a 1/4 inch anyway. And then I'm going to mount it on this white. And I've mentioned that these make great borders or mats for your photos, so that's what this is going to be. That way I don't have to cut into another piece of white cardstock. So I'm just going to mount this on here. And yeah, I like that picture like that. I'm going to ink the edges. Again, I'm using still the gray wool ink that I used with the last layout. I chose gray wool because black seemed too much for the brown elements that are in this, just like the brown stickers, which I'm not going to use the bug sticker that they have on there. So that one goes crooked a little bit, and then this one has a green, which I've already cut down this photo. This one has a green mat that I've already cut out. It was part of the cutting guide. So you can see how fast these pages come together with their workshops. With them having everything, the sizes, you cut everything. It just works really well. Now, they have this chipboard piece that says Little Explorer. I'm going to change this. And first thing I'm going to do is get rid of these little tag little pieces. Okay, and I'm going to cut this. It's pretty thick. I don't know if I want to use my cutters. I wonder if I could use my ruler. I'm going to cut it down so that it doesn't say Little Explorer. See if I can do this. Got to be kind of careful. Just going to cut lightly a few times because if I push too hard, it's going to move the whole thing. So if you do it lightly each time, it wouldn't move. Another thing you could do would be to temporarily glue this to your cut background. And then I still have these arrows I can use. I still have the word little if I wanted to use this. And instead of Explorer, I'm going one step further. And I'm going to take off the R. I want to make sure that I have enough of the... That's not going to work right there. Let me see. How could I do that? Just maybe line it up like this. So again, I'm just going to cut lightly. Cut lightly. Just keep cutting lightly over and over again. If your knife is sharp anyway. If you have a dull knife, it might not work as well. But there we go. So now it says Explore. And I'm going to find a word, because I really liked how that was lifted up a little bit. I'm going to ink the edges of this. Okay. So that says Explore now. I want the word Let's. Let's see if they have. Our little man. So blessed by everything. That says Let's Explore, but that's really tiny. So maybe I will grab the same thickers I used in the last one. Ooh, but I don't have an E. Do I have an F? I do have an F. So let's see. L-E-T-S. Let's Explore. Let's try it. Let's see what it would look like. I'd have to make my own E, but I am okay with that. So the Explorer is going to go over the green just a little bit. And then I'm going to move the photo so that all of it will go over it just a little bit too. And I'm also moving the photo over to the left just a little bit because I want it to tuck behind this photo. And this photo I want to just barely tuck underneath there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down because I really like the way that that looks together. Now it's not going to go underneath. Okay. I only want a little bit of this photo underneath there though. So right about there, I'm just going to get my T-square ruler really quick before I push it down. And it was kind of crooked, so that's good. Then for the Explorer, I want the little photo to go let's put some adhesive on here. Whoops. Okay, I want it to tuck behind the Explorer, but I don't want it to cover up too much. So that looks good about there. And then the Explorer word, let's just set down for a minute. Okay, now if I put the word Let's right here, I think it would look really cute. This is kind of a little bit hidden in the picture. I'm okay with that. Sometimes that would change my mind on what I put, but I'm okay with that this time because I want the focus to be more on the picture. Although I'm not sure how crazy I am about that. I think I would almost like it a little better if it was, well, I don't know. Actually, let's make the E into an actual E and see what we think. I'll use part of an X. It's just a tiny piece that I need. It's probably too long. Cut it down a little bit more. There, I know it's a little wonky right now, but I can fix that in just a minute. So let's explore. What if I moved it down? I don't know. Let me look at green. I'm just not that crazy about that right now. Let's find out what I have in green. I don't have a lot of green alphas, but maybe even this dark green here. So I'm going to put these over here. I'll save that in case I need an E in the future. So let's look at this. These are some off of a, you know, you used to get the alphabet sheets with your kits. I think this was off of one of those somewhere. Yep, I'm going to like that better. I can already tell. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down the word Explorer. so I can line up the first word. And again, I'm covering all this so that there's not really any gray. There is a tiny bit of that gray, but I'm not worried about that. It's going down a little bit over the green and a little bit over the photo. And I'm starting the word let's just off to the left of it, just a little bit, so that it looks like it's the first word. I just like that look a little better. And I like that these are a little bit distressed looking because it kind of goes with the rest of everything else. And it's a good green. That green, it's a little bit different if you look at it up close, but nobody's really going to care. And I don't care, so. Let's explore. Now I might have to like draw in a little apostrophe or something. I'm not going to worry about that right at the moment. So that is my title. Instead of the Little Explorer, I changed it to Let's Explore. So that works perfect for my page. I forgot, however, to put the little chipboard piece. And I like that. I feel like it really gives it something. Just cutting off these little tags again that drive me nuts. Sometimes if you ink your edges of these things and they're small little tabby pieces, then they'll get lost, but it only takes a second to cut them off, so it doesn't bother me just to sit here and cut them off. And then I will ink the edges because I want it to be a part of the big photo, but I want it to be a little bit separate also. I might have to kind of pull up this photo a little bit. So I'm going to cut it right here. So it tucks behind. Sorry, I'm being kind of noisy, aren't I? All right, now I'm going to tuck that behind there and line it up with the top of the photo. And there's a little tiny spot there where it's not even, but it's super tiny. So I'm not even going to worry about it. Then they have a little piece of ribbon going along here. And looks like their photo was up further, but not worried about that. So I'm going to take another piece of ribbon. Get out these other scissors. These scissors seem to work pretty good when cutting ribbon. Now when I want to cut a ribbon with like that, there's a couple different ways. You can, let's do it this way for this time around. And instead of having it stop and come out from under the title, I'm going to have it go underneath the title, which would, I think, look pretty cute. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I don't want it to go all the way over. I don't want it to be the same length as any of those ones. And I don't want it to come to the very beginning of the title either. You could do the whole page. That would be cute. So I'm going to trim this side at a little bit of an angle and glue it down. I'm using the little dashes from this strip here to kind of make sure it's straight. And then I'll trim this side a little. And now they have a bow piece, or kind of looks like a bow, not really a bow, just a knot tied into it. So you can cheat. And one thing you can do is you can tie the knot and then glue it on top, which would work just as well. Or you could wrap it around here, which I think I'm going to do. I just pulled it up from the adhesive a little bit. So you can take your ribbon underneath or whatever it is. It is burlap ribbon, so I'll call it ribbon. Make sure it's glued back down, or you can worry about that when you're all done. And then tie a bow around that. And that makes it look, first of all, it'll hold it in place. And that makes it look a little more realistic. Again, I'm just going to trim my sides at a little bit of an angle. And there, I really like how that looks. It would look even cute going all the way to the end, actually. Now I wish I would have taken it to the end. But that's okay. I'm going to leave it that way. And it's glued down. They have an embellishment here, which is this little circle sticker. I think I'm going to come back to this part before I add anything on this side. Although I kind of like the way that looks tucked in right there. So I'm going to go ahead and I like the way it looks, so why should we not just go ahead and put it down? I forgot to cut off these little knobby things. What do you call these things? If anybody has a good name for those, besides annoying. I like this tucked in. Whoops. Just like right there. Not really sure which way I want the arrows to point. Alright, it's not stuck down 100%, so I'm not going to, so that way we can move it if we need to later on. Now I'm coming to the right hand page, and I'm going to line it up with this page so that I can get these strips in the same spot. And if I could find those strips in my messy pile now, that would be even better. So, oh, here they are. I think I had more room to scrapbook when I was just in my desk, because everything in here is just a huge mess. So that one will go along there. I'm not even going to worry about my ruler this time. The green one had torn strips at the end, I remember, so I'm just tearing off a little. Going to ink those edges. I've already inked the other edges, so I just need to do those two. And then I'm going to put that down along the top of the blue one. And then this one I tore the edge off of one side, inked that up, and then I made it connect with the middle of the page. So now when I put this one on there, get my adhesive off along the edge. When I can put this one on here, they will match or meet up in the middle, and it will look, it'll make it look like one, like a flowing page. So see how that works? I love how that looks. All right, so I'm going to set this to the side for a minute, and now I'm going to work with these two photos since these are not 4x6. I don't want to cut down too much of this one because I want you to see the South Jetty part. But I think I will make this one a 5x5 because I think that would be really cute. And it's at a 5x7 now, so all I would have to do is the rest 5x5. Cut that down pretty easy. And then as far as this one goes, let's see what it looks like together. There, I think that actually would look really good. So, okay, this one needs a white border, which I don't have a 5x5 white border already, so I will just grab a piece of scrap cardstock. Oops. Oh, I'm almost out of adhesive. If you guys have ATG guns, let me know. Changing my adhesive in my ATG gun is one of my favorite things because it slides so much easier after you've changed it. Am I right? When you get to the end like I am, it's kind of tougher to roll it along. Oh, and I messed that up. Okay. I'm going to go with the thinner border on this one. And then I'm going to cut a green border for the other picture, just like on the left-hand side of the page. It's part of the cutting guide. You can see here. But I knew that I didn't have a 4x6 vertical. And I didn't know exactly what size I was going to keep it at, so I didn't cut that part yet. Oh my goodness, I had a coughing fit. Please excuse me. Okay, so now the green paper, where did it go? All right, it's this one. So now I will cut 4.5 by like 6.5. And that will give me, oh, well that wasn't very smart, was it? Guess I should pay attention to what I'm doing first. Luckily it was big enough. I still have another piece, but if I don't have to cut into it, you know, it's better to not. Okay, I'm going to save those little scraps for now because you never know. Hang on for a moment. Okay, so I'm gluing this down on here, and it looks like I cut it way too big, which I'm totally okay with. Oh, great. Gotta pause you again. Okay, back to the layout. I'm sorry, I had to change my ATG. I thought I had to change the laundry over. Gonna have to pause after this layout so that I can eat lunch and hopefully make it so my throat doesn't keep being annoying. Now I wonder if I want to put, kind of mimic the way it looks on the left hand side, or I don't think I do, because they have their little stuff right here. And I think I probably will add a little bit of journaling and stuff there. The same, just like they did. Now, do I want to put, I kind of like them a little wonky because the other ones were a little bit wonky, although only one of them was. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to mimic. It's going to leave some white space up here, but actually maybe that's where I will put my journaling instead. Or I'm going to add a title, I think, other than just the Let's Explore. Although it says in this picture where we are, so I'm not sure. Maybe I won't. Okay, so they have Oh, the Places You Will Go, which is a little chipboard piece. Oh, and I like this little journaling box. As much as I like it, though, I don't know if I will have enough room for all my journaling. But it could, you know what? I'm going to do this. So they don't have this on, this is another one of those things they don't have on any of the layouts. So it would basically be extra for you. So I'm going to trim off all the little knobbies. I'm going to ink the edges. Ooh, and I didn't write the date down. Oh, good. I still have a picture I can get the date off of because I have an idea. So I'm going to glue this down, I think. I'm just going for it. We're going for it at this point. Crossing our fingers, covering up the bottom of the photo a little bit. And then getting out this chipboard piece that says, Oh, the Places You'll Go. I really like this with these photos because, you know, we're out exploring. This was when we went camping, but, you know, there was things to go look at other than just at the camping site. So we drove around, went to a few different places. They didn't use any wood veneer on the other page. I'm going to have to add a little wood veneer around. Okay. And then I'm going to put this here, and then above this, it's going to need a little tiny pop dot for where it goes off the edge. Right here, it's not going to stay on this little journaling block, so I'm just adding a little pop dot so it will help hold it up. Like that. I'm trying not to cover up the edge of that striped piece right here. So I'm pushing it in far enough so that it doesn't end at the same spot. I'm making it not even with the box. I want it to be a kind of a fun little angle. And then I'm going to use the same stickers. Do they have numbers? Oh, darn, they don't. Darn. That was a weird noise. You guys probably think that... Huh. The lighter greens do. I'll just have to stamp the date. I was thinking I could bring in the green from the other side, which now we're pretty close to having both sides. I mean, they're at a good point to put them together and to look at together and see what we want to add where. I wish that I would have, and I still could if I wanted to pull that up, but I actually kind of like the way it looks in that little spot here. Do they have any of the ribbon on that page? Oh, they did. They put it along the bottom photo. You can barely see it along here. I'm going to think about where I might want. So I think I'm going to type up some journaling strips. And there's not a whole lot I want to say, but there is a little bit. I was thinking about putting a title up here, but I'm not sure. They do have a wood veneer geotag, which I used the other one, but that's okay. I still have this one. I'm wondering, I actually kind of like, well, let's get out these little binocular pieces too that they have. That's on the sticker. And it doesn't look like they use any of these little word stickers anywhere, so I might throw some of those around. Or this little tab sticker. Let's see what that looks like up here, because that would really go well with the green stripe here. What does that look like if we move everything? It looks okay. What if we put it underneath this one? Put that there and the geotag there maybe? I kind of like it over here a little better because on this side it's like lined up with this green, but over here it brings this little bit of light green to this side. So I know I have green around the photos, but it is a darker green, whereas this is about the same color green as this stripe. So that's what brings it over here. And then, so let's find the binoculars, because this is a great page for the binoculars, I think, because we climbed up there and looked. I have pictures that I took of the ocean off of that too. And I'm just lightly inking the edges of the binoculars. I'm kind of wondering if I wouldn't mind them maybe underneath here a little bit more. I do like that, and I can stamp the date. Really wish I had those stickers. So yeah, I'm going to pop up, because this is so thick from the bottom one, I am going to add a few pieces of foam tape. So I know Moulins. I'm not really worried about filling it in. I just want to make sure that part of it doesn't sag while the other part's up above on, you know what I'm trying to say, on this thicker part. Okay, so got some of those. I'll take the backing off. And like I said, I really like the binoculars because obviously, you climb up on that spot. I don't know if we had any binoculars that day, but there might have been something you could look. I don't know. Anyway, so I kind of tucked it under the places you'll go. I like that. It probably didn't need to be tucked under so much, but that's okay. What else do they have? They had the ribbon around the photo, which I didn't do, and I don't want to pull up the photo. I don't know if I would like it around this photo anyway. So maybe just a little ribbon bow. I think what I'll do, yeah, is just maybe make a little bow. Not even a bow, just a knot. And I had this little leftover piece. So I'll do this, cut little angles. And maybe tuck that in there. Let's see. We're going to leave that there because I'm not 100% sure. They do have a wood tree here in between the two photos. But what they have is a wood veneer here, a wood veneer here, and nothing. Oh, they do have a little tiny star. So I'm wondering if I put the geotag wood veneer here. The tree really doesn't go with the paper or the page, or the pictures, I mean. But maybe some triangles would, and they would be fun just to kind of sprinkle around. Maybe move that for now and add a couple triangle pieces in a couple different spots. And that would, so maybe one here too. Maybe even a third one here to kind of give that cluster of 3. That looks like a face. But I'm wondering about this third triangle. I could put it where I'm going to put my, I'm not liking it there. Well, I'm liking part of it, but I'm not liking the other part of it. I like this cluster here. This part I'm not sure about. This one I'm not really liking. So maybe adding in a star as like the third little, ooh, this one might not want to come out though. I don't want to break it. Although I have plenty of star wood veneer, right? I could just use anything. Maybe a star in each little spot. There's a star there. Maybe this circle one here, and then that star up there. That would put, but then that leaves this with 2 wood veneer, this with 3, and this with 3. So that's throwing my eye off a little bit. I'm just not sure I want this little piece of, this little knot. Maybe above the photo here. Here? No. Okay. I'm just not going to worry about it. Maybe up here. No. Okay, so I have the 3 here, the 3 here, but 2 here. And let's see the last page. So I just want to make sure they use a star, the circle with a star. Oh, they use some of the triangles too on this, but I think I'm going to end up doing my page different, so it doesn't matter. I think I would rather have the triangles on here. Oh, and actually I have another triangle. One from the inside. So I could just use triangles instead of the geotag. I liked the geotag because it was kind of saying this is where we are, but wondering if the triangles... Oh man, this is a hard decision. I don't think I like that as well. Spending a lot of time just on these little bit of wood veneer. And then I still have the tree left, but I think the tree, what is the next? Yeah, the tree would probably go better on this next layout anyway with the pictures. Not that that has to be a deciding factor. So let's take a look. They also have this bug on here. I'm not going to put the bug. I don't think I've seen them use the stars on any of the pages. I haven't seen them use the word stickers, which again, I'm going to go back at the very end. Ooh, these mountains. These mountains would be really neat, but I don't know where I'd put them now. Let's move that and just see. No, that doesn't look very good right there. This would be better on a Wallowa Lake page anyway, so I think I'm going to save that for the next layout. Trees, no, stars, geotag. There's an arrow. Maybe I'll put the arrow right here because I'm going to do journaling steps. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue down these triangle pieces and the stars. And I'm going to leave the circle star with this one. Or do I want to? Yeah, I think it's a little... I struggle using things like this circle one. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. And do I want to put it there or... So this layout would take a lot less time if you followed what they had. But that's okay. I'm having fun. This is what this is all about, is showing you what they have and then how you could make it your own if you wanted to. So I'm just going to glue these down. With this triangle, I'm making sure that whatever's in the center of this triangle here is the same thing, so it's not like going over 2 or 3 pattern papers, if that makes sense. And then I'm just going to glue that star there. And then this triangle, I could use a glue dot, which would probably be easier, but that's okay. I have this glue. And I'm trying to make it just a little bit different of an angle as that triangle. And then I will glue this. Again, I'm going to leave the circle inside just because I feel like that would be a weird empty space. Bringing it down over the photo, that might have to have something sit on it for just a minute. Gonna glue this star here. And again, with this triangle, I'm going to put it so it's not over both the picture and so you don't see the circle, that thing, and the picture all in one. I want to put it so it's all covering so that when you look into it, it's mostly just one design you see. You might see a little bit of another design, but oh, I can't go over that thing anyway, it looks like, because it is too high. But I want it there. So we're going to hold it there, I guess. Here, get my block again. And now I'm going to glue these ones on the bottom. Now I'm thinking, while I'm doing this, I'm thinking I might actually bring in something like enamel dots. Or, ooh, you know what I have is some little stars. Stars would be really good. Same thing with this star. I'm making sure it just goes over the one pattern paper. So, where are those stars that I'm thinking of? Excuse my reach for just a minute. I need to dig around in here. These are not the stars I was thinking of, but then I just thought I had these. So I'm not sure I want these though. These might be a little too sparkly. These are by Queen & Company and they are super, super tiny. And that is not what I was thinking of. They are a little bit too sparkly for this layout. So I know I have some white stars in here. Or was that my... That might have been my crop bag that I had the stars. But I have different, oh, no, I have some of the same ones. Okay, this is what I was originally thinking. I believe this is a close to my heart, maybe even. And the color goes really well because it's not white. It's almost like a little bit of an off-white. So I'm thinking, let's just throw some around and see what happens. I'm going to put one there. Put one down there. Going to put one up here. And then where else might we want? So we have this 3. I'm going to have my journaling up here. So I'm going to add a little cluster of 3 up here. Whoops. Got something on my fingernail. Okay. There, I'm adding a little cluster of 3 there. I'm going to add a cluster of 3 here, but I'm going to have them go all around this cluster. So it just looks like a huge cluster. Now it's starting to look like it's too much, but oh well, we like it anyway. So then I'm going to add these ones here and this small one on that side. It looks okay. I'm not that fond of it. Almost like it's too much now, but that's okay. And then that one, and then maybe let's see. I'm just kind of playing right now. Don't know if I really like anything. No, I don't like those there. I don't like it on the photo anyway. Now the backing is coming off. Well, I like this here. I don't mind these here. These are okay. I'll go ahead and glue them down. They lost their adhesive just a second ago because when I moved them. So I'll just use a little bit of Lawn Fawn glue, and I'll have to glue there for a few minutes, but I'm okay with that. Okay, so I am done. I took a few seconds and I glued some of the enamel stars down. What else I did really quick was I saw these word stickers. There's just 3 that I put around that says So Fun, The Great Outdoors, and Let's Explore. But it didn't really look to me like they had used any unless I had missed them on any of the pages. So the first page, no. The second page, no. And I'm pretty sure the third page, they don't either. So, yeah, so let's look. They have theirs, and I'm going to try to move my mess forward a little bit here. So they had theirs, and ours is fairly close to what theirs is, other than the 2 4x6 photos on this side. I still mounted the photo on the right with a white photo mat. This one has a green, just like they do here. They're just different orientations. I didn't use the tree or the geotag on this side. I used some of my triangles. I don't care for this right here. I feel like maybe the other star should be in between those, but I'm not going to worry about it. I did this one. They had a 3x3 photo here and a 5x7 photo here. Pretty much followed that, added the strip to the side. They did raise up this blue circle, which maybe, oh, hang on. Okay, so I did not get any burlap on this page. They did have it around this bottom photo. I did try adding this little knot all different kinds of places, but it's just not going to work. So I'm okay with that. I really like the way it looks here. I could have made it span the 2 pages together, but not going to worry about it. I really like the way it looks anyway. Another thing that could possibly be done maybe is put it kind of like the same knot type of thing underneath where my strips are going to go for my journaling. So like that, maybe have it come out from behind the photo. I'm not going to worry about that right now. So I added a cluster of wood veneer in 3 different locations they didn't have. I did take the stripes and mostly added them on here the way they did, other than with this kind of dash stripe one. I did put it in the middle so that it would meet in the middle to kind of make the page look a little bit more like it's cohesive. So this page, I did follow a lot of what they did. I took the word Little Explorer and I cut it down to say explore and then added the word let's. I I was going to add the date with these same stickers, but I don't have any of the numbers, which I'm kind of bummed about. But then I took these Close to My Heart enamel star stickers, which are old, by the way. I don't know. They're probably not available. They're probably really, really old. And added them. I added a cluster around here. I added a cluster around here where my journaling's going to go. I added a cluster here and by this bow with the ribbon. And then instead of adding a cluster in by these wood veneer, I kind of moved it up to the top. I thought that separated it a little bit, but also gave a little bit something more to the page. I am not going to add a title. I was originally thinking I would, but if you look at this picture here, it says where we are. So it's going to, you know, and I'll talk about in my journaling a little bit about this place. So I have more photos that we took. So when you come down off here, you can walk along the side of the rocks all the way like this way from, it's basically to the right of this big thing here. So I have pictures from there that I will be journaling and scrapbooking later. So I'm not worried about that. And so yeah, that's basically, for the most part, that it's fairly close to what their layout is, just a few changes here and there. And it did go a little bit longer. I had a lot of starts and stops, but that's just, you know, it's a busy day otherwise. So, all right, we have one more layout to do. That is layout number 3. I am thinking I'm going to do layout number 3. And then number 4, I might do, if depending on the scraps that I have left over, I might do one extra layout, but I am not sure. It just is going to depend on what we have left over. All right, so see you guys in a few minutes.